But if exchange has no BTC, seller, BlackRock, etc., keep buying. Who's selling? Iran and Israel, so they can buy more bombs. You have to understand. You're right. You're wondering who's selling? Who's selling these bitcoins, right? When nobody has any, right? You're right. Well, it's simple. It's really simple, right? You have to sell on. There has to be some selling done on the open market, right? It has to be done, right? That's just the way it is. And so they can do that only to a limited extent, right? They can only go. They can't just take a whole bunch of Bitcoin and sell it on the open market and then make it look like, and then keep selling. It doesn't work that way, right? Because then they'll run out, right? So how can you get prices down, right? Legitimately without actually selling, and having to buy assets and sell it, right? You can't do it, right? Well, you do have to buy, right? You just have to plan ahead to sell on weakness. Right? So Sunday was the perfect time for the bombing and selling coordinated attack, which I wonder how gold did, right? Because wouldn't be surprised if gold took a hit as well, because that's what they like to do. They always do that on the weekends, right? When there's low liquidity and they need to get prices down, they start selling. They get they're selling on, and you can only do that for so much, right? And so look, they're as gold was hammered down during a war, which is fucking stupid, but but because it's on a low liquidity event, it's easy for them to move the price. Now, if you move on a low liquidity event, what happens next is you need to paint the tape. What is that? What is painting the tape? Right here. Let me just open it up on Bitcoin. This is painting the tape. So now the tape is painted to say, okay, we're breaking down. Now they don't have to sell anything anymore. Why? Because the tape has already said, get the fuck out. That's it. Right? That's how they get it done. Right? And so because it said that, right, there's going to be a significant amount of people who just have a set of policies to follow through and sell. Right? And that's that. So they're going to paint the tape and it's going to sell this all the way down to 93, right? And then around here, around the 93, right? Around the 93, right? We either hold or they paint the tape again and break it down even further. And that would be game, set, match, right? And that's how it gets done. Right? So everybody lives in this world, every business and every wealthy person lives in this world through a set of systems, right? Systems ensure that you can make money and grow your wealth. This is just a system, right? Trading is just a system. If this happens, you do this. This is a system here. We say, okay, Bitcoin is breaking down. If this breaks this level here, that's it. We have to go short. We have to sell. This is a repetitive thing. You can't. Now, this is based on odds and probabilities. Now, there's no guarantees of those probabilities, but you have to follow through on them, because if you don't, right, that's like, okay, I'm going to bet everything on green or everything on 7 on a roulette table. It's just dumb. Can you hit? Yes. It's just not probable. Right? So you don't do that. Right? So that's why. That is why. That's why we see them paint the tape and make this happen, and so that they can get the results they want. So you know what's going to happen is the ETFs, right? Today, they're going to have record sells, right? That's what's going to happen, right? And BlackRock is part of the cabal, and they're going to sell. They did. So where do they get? So you're thinking, where do they get the Bitcoins to push the price down? Think about it, right? Remember what I said about BlackRock. They don't have to, like, I don't give you Bitcoin. They just give you cash. They just sell a fucking token into the market, right? Promising the cash. And then at an appropriate moment, they can actually help the US government sell the price down, because then they can sell at the right moment. Done. There it is. There's where your Bitcoin comes from. Simple. All right, it's a sad situation, but that's where it is. Yep, that's correct. They create the M pattern. Systems follow the rules. They start their selling. That's the rules. Done, finished. They don't have to. They don't think about whether or not, did the government really plan this? Blah blah. No. It's just, that's the system. It is what it is. And just walk away with it, right? Alrighty.